Well, let's go to Club Corner now with opposing coaches from yesterday's clash at VFL Park, Kevin Sheedy and John Cahill, talking about the game with Bob Skilton.
Well, where did it all go wrong, John?
Bob, if I'd sent every player out all the week and told him to get drunk, you couldn't have played as bad. Where did it go bad? Well, all the week was a big week. Tuesday night we showed a video of the good things they did from the previous week, the chasing, the tackling, the manning up. On Thursday, Johnny Bertram spoke to us just for 5 minutes, but something that was really relevant. We looked at Essendon, how they played. We had a match meeting on Friday night. Just a normal finals week, but very intense. We played 2 good finals. In fact, our last 8 games, other than the Fitzroy game, had been good. I'm still trying to think where we went wrong. Too hard.
Well, Kevin, was there anything that went wrong for Essendon?
Well, I think that we were really fortunate on the day, Bob. We got off to a fairly good start, and you know, our players were playing quite well, and they've been in pretty good form for a while, except for the game up in Sydney there the last month. And I feel that just on the day we had quite a number of players, you know, up, and you know, any team's going to be hard to beat if they've got you know, more than half their team playing well.
And John, young McKeon, inexperienced, was really having trouble with Van der Haar. Why did you wait so long to make a shift?
We asked me before, Bob, why did we use Tony Shaw as a tag? Now, Tony Shaw's been used as a tag every game this year, which he told you with me, right? Now, Tony Shaw has not only tagged but got 1 million kicks as well. We shifted Van der Haar, we shifted Ronnie McEwen. First of all, off we had Danaher with David Toomey. 2 minutes into the game, David Toomey was dizzy, couldn't run, couldn't see anything, so we had to take David Toomey off, and that upset number 1 plan. We then had to shift Greg. We put Ronnie McEwen back there. We could have made 1 million moves, which we did yesterday, and it wouldn't have mattered what we did. Essendon were on such a high, and I think Baker's explosiveness in that first quarter, Danaher, every Essendon forward was playing at his peak, and it was just an onslaught that we tried everything possible. You can pull out a million moves and 1 million suggestions. One other that I was really disappointed with was the comment by Trevor Grant, whom I don't respect, and I'll say that here and now, the only journo I don't respect, to say that Dacos was peeved for being in the forward pocket. Dacos kicked 7 goals last week in the forward line, the most dangerous forward, and Peter was to change with Tony Shaw as a ruck rover. Now, when Peter went on the ball, he still didn't get a touch, and that's just the good tagging of Shane Hurd. Shane Hurd just played a tremendous game. I don't think for 1 minute that Peter would have been peeved about anything. This year he's been 100% team man, and in fact last week you saw him chase from full forward to centre. He tackled 3 or 4 times. It was just a down day for Collingwood. So why did we take so long? It didn't matter what we did, Bob. It didn't work.
Kevin, before the season started, everybody was saying it'll be a Hawthorn-Essendon grand final again. Did yesterday show that there is that those 2 teams are so far above the rest?
Well, you know, if you look at Collingwood's side yesterday, they've lost 3 very good players in David Cloke and Jeff Rains, and the captain Mark Williams, an excellent player Mark Williams. I think that whilst we've got a good list of players, and I think that both clubs have done very well to keep a good list of players in their you know, respective clubs and keep the players happy, and comes finals time, well, you know, only 20 players are going to get picked, and we've got 1 or 2 out. Allen and Hawthorn, they've got 1 or 2 out with Knights and Kennedy. So, you know, I say that probably our list strength and the quality of the player that is starting to sort of come to Essendon and probably Hawthorn is much better, and it's enabling us to hopefully be up in the top 3 for quite a while.
John, I can imagine the disappointment that you're feeling at the moment, but what is the future for John Cahill? Is it Collingwood? Is it West Adelaide? Is it Sturt?
It's a high tree at the moment, Bob. No, really, I don't want to talk about myself. I just feel for Collingwood, and I don't really think about my future today. I am so low, and I don't care about John Cahill or what he's doing tomorrow or the next day. I just want to recover from that loss. I doubt that I ever will, because it was just something that no one, after a good year to get to 3rd position and be respected, the players, that they worked really hard, to give in the way we did yesterday, I thought undid so much good work that's happened over the year, and that's very, very disappointing, Bob. I'll sit down and discuss with the board, and I dare say that they'll sit down and discuss with me, so that'll be a personal, confidential thing. But even for the Collingwood supporters, no one could feel as low as I do, Bob, and I feel sorry that we did so well to go out the way we did in the last game.
John, you've mentioned the word pressure a few times throughout the year.
Yes.
How have you found the pressure of VFL football?
I found it really good. It's made people respond, Bob, and it certainly made me respond. That one, when the pressure's there, it just makes you work harder and harder. You don't look or make excuses. And you'll pick moves that I didn't do yesterday. Well, that's my fault if I didn't do them. If I took the credit for the previous two finals, when we did make some moves and they worked, that's fine. I take that. So if we didn't make moves that were to your satisfaction or someone else's, I must accept that criticism. But the pressure, I believe, brings out the best in a sportsman. And in Victoria, I found that the people are so professional. The footballers, I'm talking majority here, Bob, the commentators, the media, the coaches particularly, are very, very professional, and I've certainly learned a lot.
Kevin, this time last year, you had just broken the preliminary final record with an 86-point win over North Melbourne, then coming up to the grand final. Why will it be any different this year to last, with Hawthorn having a week's break? Once again, you've broken the preliminary final record.
Well, I think that this year we've made the top three and had a second chance, Bob, so therefore we had a rest in the first week of the final series. I felt that we had a bit of a drop-off in form about 6 weeks ago, and we're just coming back to somewhere near our best football for the year. About 5 or 6 of the players have been out for quite a while, and they've got 4 or 5 games under their belt. Players like, say, Shane Hurd. Darren Williams was out for 3, Watson was out for 3. They're all back, they've all played a number of games now, and I think that we'll play very well next week. I know that we're a very determined side at the moment, and the people that will get the benefit out of that are the people of Victoria, the people at the MCG next Saturday, and everybody watching right throughout Australia.
Well, talking about watching, everybody would have been disappointed to see the way that Clark went off the ground yesterday. Paul van der Haar at his explosive best in the first half. Essendon fans, I'm sure, would like to know, will they be available next week?
Yes, they'll both be available. I'm quite sure that 99% sure they'll be available, Bob. You know, we had to, I wanted to get them off the ground. We had the game sort of well under tow at that time, and I felt that, well, in Neil Clark's case, you had to take him off, but we had two other players on the bench, and we were playing quite well, and the players could come off the ground and have a rest and be attended to.
Well, Kevin, to Essendon, congratulations on making the grand final, and to you, John, I'm sure commiserations at the present moment.
Thanks, Bob.
Kevin, yes, congratulations. And John, on behalf of all the commentators here at Channel 7, we'd like to thank you for your cooperation. You've been as straight as a gun barrel, and you've done a marvellous job at Collingwood. That's saying from one Collingwood captain to a coach there now, and we certainly hope that you stay there with the Magpie, because you've been top class as far as we're concerned. Kevin, good luck next week, mate.
Thanks, Lou, I appreciate that.
And we're proud of you, because you're an old-time World of Sport commentator too.
We're in there with the second year in a row, and we've got a chance.
That's good. Any rate, the bottle of Thomas Hardy Grand Reserve champagne, I know you won't want to drink that today to celebrate because you're pretty down the dump, but keep smiling, John, that's the most important thing. The new Whoppers from Ballantyne's, and of course we've got this magnificent Victorian Thoroughbred Country book, and of course with that book goes guest passes to all the country meetings right throughout Victoria this year. How about